pyramids and they're hanging out and they're having a good time, and it's like who was that, Flip Wilson, when Columbus showed up. And he said, "What are y'all doing?" He said, "We're having a party." He says, "What kind of party?" He said, "Well, it's not yet been discovered day."
Yeah.
And so they, and I mean, that was just the way that people didn't care about that.
Well, no, let's translate it to today because so like a rapper, I think his name was PNB Rock. He just died. He got shot. He was at Waffle House.
The guy they said he put the video. Yeah.
They said, oh yeah, his location was up, and somebody came, shot him, robbed him, and all that stuff. And that stuff is triggering for me personally because I always have the mindset of what is it in somebody's mind that says, I want your things and I'll kill you for it?
Yeah.
There's something in my mind, like you literally don't get it.
No. Just like
but that's not different than Columbus coming or these things invading. It's like, what is it in these minds?
Right, and it's just like, what is it in the minds of these people that decide to just walk into school and kill a bunch of kids? What the hell's that about?
Well, I guess.
Or walk in the grocery store and kill a bunch of people that are not the same color as you because they're not the same color as you. Can't wrap my head around that either.
Well, that's why I get back to the evil, Gene.
Where's this guy from?
I get back to the evil.
Where was the Waffle House at?
It's in
California.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It's in Los Angeles. It was the original Roscoe's Waffle House.
So
Roscoe.
Roscoe's. Okay, Roscoe's. Stop.
I don't know if
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles was a famous hangout in L.A. Okay. And
that puts a different. See,
what was the rapper's name?
PNB Rock.
PNB Rock. He was in the car and they would do, you know how these kids got to show every damn thing they doing. So he had these chains on. He had a big PNB and a Mr. T starter kit. I mean, the boy had chains all over. Then when he got to where they was going, Roscoe's, his lady was taking pictures of the food, right? The chicken and waffles, and it's like, oh, that's where he is. So some other assholes are out there watching their post, went there. When he came out, they shot him and took all the gold and shit. And they're saying one of the reasons why is because you're always on this thing filming your food and saying where you're going and telling the world what the hell you're up to. And this young brother, he was a youngster and an up and coming rapper. And these guys decided, oh, well, they're at the Waffle House. That ain't far. Let's jump in the car and go down, rob him, murder him, and just take the fuck off.
Well, like I was getting ready to say, that puts a different twist on it for me. Because when I hear Waffle House, I don't think of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I think of Waffle Houses you see all through the South with the yellow sign.
The Waffle House.
That's what I think of.
The Waffle House, yeah.
Now, to me, that's like, well, why would he's a rapper? Why would he go there? I mean, he obviously
this was in Hollywood.
But the one for Roscoe's, in my mind, that says, oh, you was asking for trouble.
Huh.
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's pull over to the curb a second.
How?
What did he do that equivalated to asking for trouble that was different than anybody else?
Because a lot of famous people hang out there.
He's in L.A.
Yeah,
He's in L.A.
But a lot of other famous people hang out at Roscoe's.
Yeah, but he's not the only one. Why
he's not? Yeah,
because he flaunted his shit.
But
and that leads to my question. So who's wrong in this? Let's take him out of it. Let's take people that have actually died from this out of it. But who's wrong in that instance? Is somebody wrong for, quote, flaunting their lifestyle, if that's their life,
right?
And everybody's on TikTok or on the gram, just showing what they do, and they really got it like that? I'm struggling to see how they're wrong. How like you're flaunting that in our face.
Right.
We're like, I'm doing what you're doing. It's just
Well,
to
that's
say.
that's the same thing that happened with Kim Kardashian. She had like now a lot of people's going, well, why would you just be rolling with all of this? But she had $100,000 worth of jewelry in a hotel room. She went to Paris, and she
Well, I
was-
think that shit was set up.
No,
Personally.
I know it could have been
Staged.
an insurance scam.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole thing was the similarities is her taking photos or her, posting what the hell she had with her. She had $100-something-thousand worth of jewelry with her, and then she left and somebody broke into the hotel and blah, 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 blah. But the whole point is, no one would know that she had all that with her
If
if
she
she
didn't post
hadn't posted it.
Yeah, so that's your point, which I get. Why would you purposely make yourself a target, knowing that's going to happen? Not if.
Well, you know what? I'm not even saying that the rapper, going back to him, I'm not necessarily saying he knew that was going to happen, but in my mind,
There's always a possibility.
there's folks that are trolling.
Yeah, they were trolling, right?
Yeah,
Cliff said they were outside.
They were.
No,
That's
before.
that's the news
just
report.
Before they was just kind of, oh hey, where? Oh hey, let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, everybody that is not you or me or you is looking for an easy target, I guess. I mean, society's gone. Society's shot.
Well, sure. You
That's what I hate. I think people that are looking to. I just don't like people that steal, like people that rob and stuff. I'll be like, bro, go do something.
I'm here.
What makes you feel entitled to what somebody else has worked for? Cause I can. Like that.
But you know my
That-
philosophy.
and that
That
goes
was my
to me.
superpower.
But that
Whatever
goes.
you do to somebody, it happens to you in real time.
But
Well,
that
put it
to
in
me
that
goes
bullshit.
back to the lack of discipline in the home. Lack of discipline. I mean I think that leads directly to that because I
Well,
can.
Also because of the attitude on the street. If you have several kids that are lacking discipline, and then they're like-minded, and then they'll do this kind of shit. So it's like you have a lot of kids that discipline the whole thing. You have a lot of kids that are suffering from lack of discipline, in my mind.
For a lot of different reasons. It's not a
Yeah.
simple answer. For
No.
a lot of different reasons.
But it's society.
If that's how you've been getting by, like earlier we were talking about families that fight and handed down
Right.
generation to generation.
Right.
If that's what you know, that's what you know. Now,
It's-
if you're 13 and your dad's in jail and your granddad's in jail, and this is what they know, that's
Right.
what they hand down.
It's just like there were like families, generations of families that were on government assistance, welfare.
Yeah.
And that's how they saw their parents and or grandparents live. And so they, it's what's around you. You're going to emulate what's around you.
I agree with that to a point. But
You
check
know?
this out. Let's wrap it with this. I got a good example. I had a first cousin who was a couple of months older than me.
Mm-hmm.
She was a couple of months older than me. Shockingly, lived in New Jersey. She had a baby at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Shocked. Well, go 15 years up, and the baby that she had at 15 had a baby at 15. And the baby at 15, they had a baby at 15, had a baby at 14.
Mm-hmm. So now you
They did not
so
know
now
any
you
better.
got it.
Well, but see, you going back to the original one,
But it's
she knew better.
But it's a 30-year-old she's a 30-year-old grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Families have so many damn secrets that
But
sometimes we only discover them when we get old.
but society's like that. I mean, there's so many things that people do that no one knows, or they don't think anybody know, and they're doing things that are counter to what they've been taught or how they were raised.
Or they just plain rebel against what they've been taught.
Yeah, they, you know, it's like, hey, you know what? This, I like what these people are saying and doing. I'm going there and forget what my parents or my grandparents or any person of authority in my family tells me.
Yeah, that having babies, that goes back a while.
Of course, I mean,
Somebody had a baby,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
and the grandmother raised it. The baby thought, because that's what they were taught. The grandmother, that was mommy. The 15-year-old who had the baby went to somewhere else trying to get their life straight. But that was Auntie so-and-so
Right.
who came back to visit.
Right. And that's what they used to do. Nowadays you have kids going to school and they're in high school, and the high school's got a goddamn daycare.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Society
And people are, you know, and now they're fucking glorifying this shit. You're looking at and now teen moms.
that shit.
Hell.
I don't
Yeah,
get that.
well, you know,
And yeah, that Teen Mom Ain't New, that used to piss me off when I was in high school watching. I'm like, yo, why are we doing this?
Yeah, I don't get that shit.
Yeah, that reality TV gets too. Sometimes it just drives me nuts.
reality. Back in the day, Dave, my mom, who didn't graduate from high school but managed to get her GED and a degree from UW, was the person that started the school for pregnant teens at Model Cities over there on 18th and Cherry. When they first started out, it was 1 room, 4 girls.
Right.
And the whole idea was, okay, we have to impact these kids. We can't let them fall behind, but we also can't let them be adults because they're not really adults,
Certainly.
although they're going through an adult situation.
Certainly. No, but I mean now.
Too late now.
That was a
Right.
special
Blew that
program
Right.
to deal with that. But now,
Right, but now they
back in the
have
day-
whole schools of that.
back in the day, when girls got pregnant, they took them out of school. They sent them over to their relative, the parents,
Right.
would just and
Right.
what happened to her? Oh well, she went to live with and they don't even say that the being pregnant. A lot of people infer it. But no one actually says it, and that was the protection. My thing was, it's like, okay, if kids have kids young, okay, that we got to deal with that. It happens, okay. But why are we glorifying it on reality TV?
Or music.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Food
So-
that's just my baby mama. I mean,
So
in the music. I mean, that's
in
just
the music, in the
the culture.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the whole thing. Now it's like, they have special, it's not a special program to help the child having a child, but it's just, they're paying these people to be on there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not, to me, that's not sending the correct message. Oh, I can make money going out and getting pregnant as a teenager.
No, but those shows aren't about the message. Those shows
No,
are
they're about the money.
the money.
Yeah, and a lot of times, it's, what is it? People love car crashes. Teen Mom, oh, this gonna be drama. Just
Yeah.
like Real Housewives and all that
Yeah.
stuff is drama, and people will watch that.
Yes.
And that's who they get to be on the shows.
You know.
You know,
And they have
the
those
more drama you can create.
Well, and the thing is, in reality, they call it reality TV, but it's all scripted. So I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. What was one of the first reality shows? Survivor.
No.
Flavor of Love.
No.
Jerry Springer.
No.
Jerry- yeah.
The Real World.
Actually, the Real
The
World,
Real World.
That was the first.
like 1990.
MTV.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Real World, and that's where they did it in Seattle. Dude slapped that girl out there by Pier 70.
Yep, I remember that. I do remember that.
Yep.
This gay dude,
It was
this gay black dude, slapped this girl who was leaving, and the girl was a bitch.
Yeah, she
Just
did it,
for context.
But I didn't,
But
I didn't want to see.
she gave everybody her peace of mind as she left and said some. She called it, basically she outed him when he never said he was gay. She was
Right.
like, "You're gay," on national TV and lived, and he was like,
Right.
first he threw something away that she had lost, thought that would get her, and she was just like, I don't care. And he was like, okay. As she was in the car, he walked up, opened the door, slapped her, shut the door, and it was like, you can't really, as a black man, you can't really slap a white woman on national TV and think that's gonna fly.
Yep. So
Being gay, and you know what? Actually, I'll say this: in today's society, being gay, you know what? You might get away with it. Back in the '90s,
Yeah.
nah, you was just a nigga who just slapped a white lady on
they
TV.
had that. They had that. They had a condo right there, Pier 70.
Yeah.
You remember the?
They turned the old firehouse
Yes, yeah,
and they
the
made
old
it
firehouse,
into.
yeah.
It was right.
That's
Yeah,
right,
it was
that's
right
right.
there in Pier 70.
That's how they got those high shots.
And they refurbished it and went through it and the whole thing. And they said, oh, it's real world Seattle, you know. And so they was watching. And she came down out the condo and got in the car. And then, you know, she had outed him and all this other shit, blah, blah, blah.
It was all
And
bad.
he opened the door, pow, closed the door, and walked off into the sunset because we never seen
And then proceeded to get grilled all over TV. The news had to do a public apology tour.
Everything.
All of the things.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
But I mean, there again, you know, that was the first reality TV, you know, and then like you were saying, Jerry Springer.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Remember when they used to let them fight?
fake fight. They weren't real.
No. They would.
Well, so here's the
At the
thing.
beginning,
You
they
watch
were
YouTube
much
now.
more real than they got.
Okay, maybe I
The
didn't
only
catch
times you know it was real
Hey.
is because they would actually stop the show. They'd be like, hold on,
Yeah.
wait, stop.
Right.
It's
And then
too
the times you knew when somebody would throw a chair, because you
Right.
can't control a chair.
Right.
You can do all this. When
can-
somebody threw a chair, I saw one where like the foot of the chair, bop, and they was like, shut it down. They was like, no, too real.
Too real.
What show was that where was that Springer? Dude got hit with the chair, but yeah. They, you know, and I mean, it was like the fights in them days were far, because before Springer went off, I don't know where he is now, but they would show
Probably
like,
just chilling.
what do you call it, vintage Springer. And it was totally different than the way they was doing it now.
I like Rufus
Yeah.
and Trinae.
But,
Was it Rufus and Trinae? I think they was on there.
oh yeah.
Yeah, had his little wig, cocked ace deuce, and the Prince glasses. Oh man.
Yeah.
I used to love me some Jerry Springer. Okay, what y'all? But the coldest reality show ever, Flavor of Love. Was y'all into that?
Oh my God.
Well,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was.
Flavor, flavor.
How were you then?
He was
I don't know what. Let me see when it came out.
He was dating, what's her name?
New York.
Brigitte.
Oh, Bridget.
yes.
Bridget.
Bridget.
I still remember
Brigitte Nielsen.
was Beverly Hills Cop 2 when Eddie Murphy was doing a scene with her and he was like kept standing on his tippy toes and as soon as she walked away he said, "Man, that's a big bitch."
Yeah. And
Okay.
and then
What year? What were we talking about? What was
Flavor of Love.
Flavor of Love?
But there was one on before that where they had the little guy, Mini-Me. And I think that was where Flavor of Love came from. Because Flavor Flav, Brigitte, they were
So that
all in
was
that
a
same house.
spin-off.
No. That was a spin-off of Flavor of Love.
I thought it was the other way around.
That, and then Rock and Love came right after.
Rock and Love, but the one with Mini Me with
Yeah,
Vern Troyer.
I thought that one.
Fucked
I
up.
thought that was the first one because they were all in that house.
No, they just created those out.
Yeah,
2006. So
they created that.
I was an
house.
adult. 2006.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. 2006.
I was 20.
So you was in New York, DC.
I was
then,
in
huh?
DC, yeah, when that came out. I didn't. Yeah, I caught like the mid and end of the season. I think the first season. But
Because Vern Troy went over and thought he was in the bathroom and just
started peeing, yep. Or what? Him getting drunk. You know what? I just think that's us as. I would hate to say this. Us as the average sized person. How much we drink or can drink before we get drunk, and you think of a little person who has all the attitude of a whole grown up,
You think you?
but you hit them with a full beer. Nigga gonna be out.
I'm looking at I'm looking
Think
at
about it from that
I'm looking
perspective.
at
You know, they showed him drunk. He was, Vern Troyer, God rest his dead. He was an alcoholic. You know, that was so they showed him, and it was fucked up. He did reality. He signed up for it, but he was shit faced on his little scooter,
Yeah.
crashing into stuff. I was like, why you doing this, man, like that?
and then woke up and thought, was in his haze. He thought he was in the bathroom, went right over in the corner of the room and just
Started peeing. Yep. And then the camera looked at it. I think he looked at the camera while he was doing
yeah.
that.
And he just yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all them reality shows.
Actually, I think
New
any
York had
celebrities
one.
that do them ones where they all be in a house together,
Yeah.
I think it's a bad look. I can't remember what the show was, but y'all, Ron Jeremy, the porn star,
Oh,
old school,
yeah.
he was on one of these things, and apparently it's like this dude wore these same sweatpants for the whole 2 months of the recording, never changed once. And he would walk around saying crude porn jokes to everybody, to all the girls. He'd be like,
Always.
he'd be like, you ever had a facial? I've given a couple.
But
Like
that-
he would always say, like, yo.
But that was.
But that's what they
But
want.
that's
That's
what's
what they
weird
want.
is that's what legitimized him.
You know what? There you go. That's what
Because-
people want to see.
Because he started appearing on everything after a couple of them little reality. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So he wasn't the one that got his thing cut off, huh?
No,
That's Lorena Bobbitt's husband.
Okay,
That
okay.
was Bob.
That was about it.
And he didn't become a porn star till they sewed it back on.
Well, that's when the intrigue came
Yeah.
for other people.
And he would, he
But
would.
he couldn't feel anything, could he?
I wouldn't know.
Huh?
I've never experienced anything close to that.
I was just saying he couldn't feel anything.
I got a Nick shaving once.
Oh yeah.
That was scary.
I wouldn't say that. I ain't no blades going down there.
I mean,
Back in the day,
how could they attach? How could they no, he couldn't have felt anything.
I don't know, because the thing is, even though back then they still had nerve.
I was about to say, it was
surgery.
totally severed, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
She even threw it away.
I don't want to go on after that. I wouldn't.
She cut it off, and then left him there, I guess, bleeding and stuff. And she took it with and was driving down the road and rolled the window down and went.
That's where Dave Chappelle got to say, throw that shit in the tall grass to never be
Yeah.
seen again.
Yeah. That's where they had all the two
Bet.
old people were driving and it landed on the windshield and said, damn, these bugs are getting bigger around here. I was like, come on. Man. And then apparently a lady cop found it. But they went out there, they figured out where approximately she was when she flung it. And
this
they
is such a
backtracked and went there.
distasteful subject.
I
I don't know.
I got a question though.
It all
Okay.
started out when I just said that Lorena Bobbitt's husband was a porn star.
When she cut it off, was he hard?
Hard to say.
That was hilarious. Because my thing is, okay, she cut it off and she takes off on a road trip.
Right? She had it with
Is that listen? Because if you're not hard, you shrink. Has this shrunk? Is this a big thing? When she throws it and it's laying on the ground before the cop picks it up.
There was never any film of that, so we don't know.
No, the real question is, did she cut everything off? In other words, there was just a hole here, no balls, no.
I'm saying, how do you not bleed out?
No, apparently she just cut it off. And left all the testicles and left her. She just reached up and then drove off with it. That's the thing that tripped me out. Wait a minute.
Did she put it in a bag? Like, put it in her pocket? Like, what?
Or was she driving like this, holding out the window? I have no idea.
I know. Did she get blood spurts in the car? So many
have
questions.
No idea. And like you say, how big?
I'm gonna write a movie script, Lorena Bobbitt, through the eyes of what I think it looked like. That's the whole name of the movie.
Yeah, they did a movie on it. It was called I Was Lorena Bobbitt.
That's
And
ridiculous.
as far as I know, you still are. But yeah, that was a movie, and then they had it. I don't know how they reattached and feelings. Now you can do nerve surgery so that you can have, feelings, because that's just like when people transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when people transition, like they use the same nerve endings and the same.
Transition.
Actually, I'm not gonna. I said yeah, like I fully understood. I'm not gonna act like I understood the transition process.
Oh yeah, well.
Oh, that's why I said transition. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, that's when a male wants to be a female.
What about when a female wants to be a male?
Same thing.
Do they?
Well, not actually.
No, it's not. Called
No, they.
I don't know.
parts already. A woman has to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel- yeah.
but
For a guy, they just turn it inside out and push.
Right. That's
Well-
what they do. They cut it in half, put it back in.
Oh, think of folding socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Push it back into itself.
Or think, yeah.
But how could either one feel anything?
Because
I don't know.
They
their nerves,
reconnect the nerves.
the nerves are gonna be there.
So you're telling me that when Lorena Bobbitt cut it off, the nerves were still there?
Evidently.
Well, they had to go somewhere.
Okay, they're gonna be there, but then
Unless they fell out onto the bed with some other blood.
But then the nerves are gonna be there, and they can reconnect the nerves
How?
through surgery.
Doctor shit.
Through surgery.
The shit they go to school for. I don't know.
But if
No, listen. It's just basically what you need to do is
not me.
it's called Google or Alexa or whoever the hell it is. Ask them, hey
That's
Siri,
say
hey,
it-
Siri, what happens when a
That's
person
how deep
transitions?
that's how deep this question is. I'm not
No.
finna type it into Google. I got to call. I got to call. I need somebody on the phone to explain
That's
this
what I'm
to me.
saying. But no, they do nerve surgeries. It's just like if a person has an arm cut off, those nerves are still there, and they reconnect the nerves so they still have partial use of the limb.
Yeah,
that
but
they
then you gotta
reattach.
push a button or something in order
No,
for it
you
to
ain't gotta
work.
push no button. You're thinking of the
You know what
$6
I mean?
million man.
Well, everybody
No,
in a Terminator.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
how crazy it seems to me for somebody, any part of the body cut off, will just reattach it with the nerves. How the hell are you gonna
Some-
do that? Because you done cut it off.
But a
so
lot-
the nerves ain't gonna be the same. It's not gonna work the same.
Everything is reattachable. That's why you have disabled veterans with prosthetics.
How can they reattach a dick?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
But-
saying.
Okay, now that's
Catch your arm.
Wait, time out.
What are we talking about?
I ignored the phone call. I answered the phone call. I went outside.
That was you.
I was out there 10 minutes. I went
Yeah.
to the bathroom.
Right.
And we're still on the attaching the dick stuff.
Well, that's because he won't let it go.
Let it go.
I don't get it.
They attached it. He can't.
Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it. Let it go. Let it go.
I don't actually have to
She
pick
did.
the girls up, so you guys
She
can
did.
talk as long as you. I don't have to pick them up.
Oh yeah.
She did. She just flung it out the window.
Go, just go and pick some people up.
You don't have to pick them up.
It is.
I asked her. She said no.
Really?
Yes, really. I done told you 3 times now.
I'm just asking because I actually called or text this morning and said, "Do I gotta pick you up?" She said, "No."
Yep. Well, she said. I said, "Am I supposed to pick y'all up?" She said, "Not today." I said, "Oh, okay." Even though I distinctly remember her last Thursday saying, "Can you pick us up on Thursdays?" She did say that, but she just told me a half hour ago. So
There you go.
you guys are good.
Hey, I'll ask Google. But I need to use your phone.
What?
I'm not going to ask Google on my phone. Have that shit follow me.
Like, nah, I want no ads popping up.
I go to Amazon to order like something. Still looking for that dick attachment.
But no, you have to.
Instructions.
You have to trust in the science.
What happened before? Why should I now?
Oh, you did.
When?
Did you get a vaccination?
Boom.
It doesn't mean I trusted it.
That's a good point.
Actually, I'm not mad at that one, Pop.
because if you look at it, I got all the vaccination up to date like I was supposed to.
Okay.
And I still got the fucking disease.
Well,
So why should I trust it?
I don't
But
know.
did you get it as bad as you could have got it? In another universe,
You might.
you got it real bad
Yeah.
because you didn't get the vaccination. Do you want to be that guy?
That's.
I can jump you.
That would
Do
be.
you want to be that guy?
That
I can
would.
jump you through.
That would be Kyrie Irving.
Nah, Kyrie, I was watching the thing and it was like, you know what, all them sportscasters need to apologize to Kyrie. Because they dragged that man and they said
yeah.
everything. And guess what? A couple years later, he ain't taking it. He's like, and we're all still here, huh?
Yeah.
So all of that, you dragged him for nothing. I get what they was trying to do as,
Yeah, and
But-
and on the other hand,
No,
his
but
teammate
they
who
saying-
got it, who got the shots,
Yeah.
got it 3 times.
Yeah. But they was dragging him through the mud and everything about not getting it, and then Aaron Rodgers, same thing. They said, have you been vaccinated? He said, I've been immunized.
I'm immunized.
He said, I'm immunized. And so they just let it go. And then come to find out he had never been vaccinated. He was hanging out with the team and running around playing and throwing, practicing and everything. And then Kyrie, the big thing was, a lot of the time that he missed was crucial as far as the team.
That's
the
their
team.
fault. They should
You
see.
know?
They was tripping.
But it's
Yeah,
like,
well,
hey,
it wasn't them necessarily. It was the states.
No, I'm saying I think it was the entity that controlled.
yeah,
They was tripping. But
the
I'm
media.
yeah.
The,
But
the entity that controls the media.
let's talk about this real
Yeah.
quick. Now we all remember Michael Vick and the dogs and how it was a whole
Yeah.
thing and he went
Oh,
to
yeah.
jail and he got dragged and all the money, everything. Brett Favre came out maybe a week ago
boy,
that he done stole $5 million from poor people.
Yep.
And I hear mute from the media.
Well, you know why?
It was
Because
so
he's a
funny.
good old boy.
But it was so funny
Duh.
because
You're right. Man. I'm
I
not
had
happy
been
'cause
watching
you're right,
like
but you're
Sports
right.
Center and I thought sure First Take with Stephen A. And I was watching all these sports shows and nobody said anything. I found out because somebody said, "Yeah, man, you heard about Brett Favre?" I said, "No, what?" And they said, he diverted funds that were going to the people in Jackson, Mississippi,
Who have brown water currently?
whose water was all screwed up, and he diverted some money. And then the woman who was in charge of it, she's being indicted for stealing or diverting $77 million.
Yeah, so they got
Oh,
$70 million for his thing. He
And then
diverted $5 million. He was like,
he
pay
diverted-
But
He
check this
diverted.
out,
He
though.
did, what did he divert $1 million first? And
Well,
then
no, they
no,
paid him $1 million
Yeah.
to do a job that he didn't
He
do.
didn't do. And then
Bye, baby.
And then the other 4.
Hi, guys.
See ya.
All right.
So then the other
Have a
$4
good day.
million, they used to build
A
something.
volleyball gymnasium
Volleyball facility. Yeah.
for his daughter.
But check
For
this
his
out.
daughter.
Yeah, his daughter goes there.
Daughter goes to
And she
school,
plays volleyball.
But,
So
but check it out.
but she don't go to
He
Jackson
had,
State.
he had an issue
Wow.
a couple of years ago that they hushed up, where he was fucking some of the young girls.
My.
Hmm?
Allegedly.
Well, whatever.
That skipped the big news. That skipped the big news.
and actually, funny thing, yes, for his daughter who went to that school, but after all this came out, his daughter said, "Fuck that, I'm out." She changed schools. She said, "I ain't got nothing to do with this."
Yeah,
Yeah.
two scandals for 3 years, 4
Yeah.
years.
But the media.
But you didn't hear this stuff.
The media tells you what they think you should hear. And,
Oh.
and other than that, no, forget
And
about
it was funny. Charlemagne on the radio, he said, because he gave them Donkey of the Day, and he was like, "And this is how you know Brett Favre is a square who don't need to be committing no crimes and has never done it before because they pulled up the text messages of him texting the people paying him saying,
yes,
is there a way you can pay me so the media doesn't find out?
yes.
Nigga, you can't say that. It was like, oh, he really
He just man,
or thought he was that covered. Like, you can't just say stuff like that.
man, you got people who just feel that they're at a level that's beyond regular people as far as like, you know, laws and legislation and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's just people that they
These are the people that are white and live in Mississippi.
yeah,
And other states.
Alabama.
Primarily
And other
Mississippi.
states.
Yeah.
Primarily Mississippi.
I would say Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Texas. How many more are there? 45? Do I have time to name them all?
Well, start with Tennessee.
Yeah. Every damn state. That's the same way it is in every state. You know, the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You know, that's the basis of racism and sexism and ageism. They're discriminating against old people now in the job market.
So,
Yeah.
You want somebody old working for you?
No, I don't want nobody working for me at all.
Oh.
Except maybe a stockbroker. If I had that kind of money, get that portfolio going. But I don't need to be a boss.
Why
I
not?
have enough trouble bossing my sorry little ass.
Oh.
So you know, I don't even want to be out there, and I
Well,
don't.
I can say, yeah.
I don't
Well,
need.
you looking
I
for a
don't
job?
need the hassle.
Huh?
You
No,
looking
but
for a
see,
job?
No, I'm looking for workers.
no, but the problem
To do
is,
what?
Whatever I tell them.
see, that's what I'm saying.
Whoa!
He's got that
Earthquake! How come I didn't feel it
He's
coming?
got that monarch complex. He got that monarch complex. He wants to be the king.
Oh,
I am the
okay.
king.
Okay, actually, you said monarch. That just takes me. So, how do y'all feel, or do you feel any kind of way that the queen has passed?
Hey, the queen's been the queen like most of our lives. She was on the throne 70 years.
Yeah, but you know the thing that I just realized
But I mean,
that I knew already? Ann is an ugly motherfucker.
Who?
Ann.
That whole never mind. Anyway.
Never mind.
Anyway.
She looked just like the queen.
Well, hey, remember back when we used to go to Canada, they always put, like, you look at the money, you go, that's the Queen's high school picture. She don't look like this no more, man.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, man.
That's why they
But
don't
no, see-
mirrors in the palace. So,
But no, see, the thing is, the theory is that there's not gonna be a lot of really individual looking folks because of all the inbreeding
Yeah,
in the earlier centuries.
yeah, and
Because-
Charles looks.
No, that.
They all look like cartoon
I'm
characters to
trying
me.
to tell you.
that's kind. That's
But
big.
the whole thing is, well, France and Spain are at war. Well, the only way to solve that is we'll have the Queen of France marry the King of England or you know, Spain or whatever, and that's what they were kept doing. And all back at, you know, the Austria, Germany, all that crossbreeding, trying to keep the money. You
Oh, they
rich-
kept it. It worked.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Rich people do that.
But to answer your question, I don't care one way or the other.
No.
I just can't care.
Oh, my daughter was watching TikTok, and so they had these two women on there, and the one woman says, "Did you hear the Queen died?" And the girl went, "Queen Latifah."
Yeah.
And then she said, "No, girl," and then she started to name like all of the black queens in the American society. She said, Cicely, no, she's already dead. And she just kept naming, and so people in America really didn't. I did have an effect.
Here's how much I didn't care. I watched some of it.
I didn't watch.
Here's why I watched it. To see if any of the royal guards would move.
I
The one with the big old
with the
hat.
big hat.
Yeah.
He's moving. I can see him moving.
But they were doing it like a football game. And now the coach is coming down the avenue.
Yeah,
and it's
they
taking
were.
a left. It's taking a left.
And then they were doing it like it was a golf. And they
Yeah.
was, okay, and now, yes, we think the God is coming out and they're carrying the coffin and.
Man, I did a video that got taken down. They said I was violating restrictions or whatever. But I was just like, you know what? Y'all English, y'all people from England, I was like, y'all have good hearts. You guys actually like cared and loved y'all queen. I said, and that's special. Never lose that, because here in America, we be waiting on these niggas to check out.
We
I'm telling you.
yeah.
Go ahead and say, you know how many days we all woke up hoping that there wasn't a Trump?
I should.
I think that's probably what
Yeah.
TikTok saw. Was like,
I
Yeah,
should
everything was fine. too.
yeah. But I was like, y'all really like care. You have a month of celebrations and things.
yeah.
Man, fuck that.
Oh yeah.
I started tripping. It's like,
But they had some nice Rolls Royces.
it would be cool right now if the
Yeah,
ground
it would.
starts shaking, and then like Godzilla just comes out. Yeah, with the Royal Guards, would they still be?
Well, no, their hats would be still, their hands would be on their side, but they'd be running there.
Like on their tippy toes, like Fred Flintstone. Ticka, 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 ticka.
Hell yeah.
No, I started getting weird.
It's weird. It's weird. There's just so many traditions and stuff, and that shit goes back long before this country was ever even a country. Colonies and shit. And that shit's been going on for centuries and centuries. So then people are used to living under a monarchy.
A monarchy.
And they're like, okay, well, we down in the coal mines and we dying and shit and we're poor, but the queen is good. So I'm like, man, they put the queen
That's
before
crazy to
everything,
me.
man.
I hate the one.
But you know, but it wouldn't be crazy to you if you grew up in
Exactly, and I know it's always outside looking in.
Yeah, it was.
But I think about, they talk about lowering the casket into the royal vault and all
yeah,
that, and I'm
yeah.
like, yo, y'all know how many hundreds of years of bodies and royal
Please.
that's that like, yo, these people are serious about this. Like, did nobody take a day off in this whole situation?
Yeah.
Everybody was dead ass serious about this whole royal family thing. And here I just don't feel like we care like that, but we haven't had to. So
That's what it is. I mean, the thing is, when Kennedy was assassinated, that was the closest thing that we're gonna have to, you know, any kind of royal procession or whatever, because he was a very well-liked president,
yeah.
and it affected the entire country. You had people that from all over America in Washington to witness that whole thing, you know. And then actually, for black people, Dr. King, that funeral procession, that
Yeah.
whole thing, yeah. You know?
Well, hey, okay, I mean, as quiet as it's kept. Look,
But-
when Biggie Smalls died,
Sure.
they drove him through Brooklyn.
Dude,
Everything stopped. I mean, that was.
Did you see the pink Cadillacs when Aretha Franklin died? They had about 20 of them.
Okay, yeah, okay, you know what?
But yeah.
But we do that for stars now,
Only-
but yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But those are just, and that's just small segments of the people.
Yeah.
In England, everybody, England, Wales, the whole United Kingdom, everybody just was devastated. You know, when those people, when those
Yeah, that's a
no, that was
private Idaho joke.
no, that was improv devastation.
Oh, gotcha.
But no, I mean that's just for small. I mean, you know, everybody in America didn't just stop because you know they had the Kennedy funeral on. I guess we kind of
Actually, let me ask y'all about that.
Stopped on the assassination.
As,
You know what?
as black folk,
Actually, speaking of the Kennedy funeral and whatnot, I actually lived on the Air Force Base, and I'm telling you, from the moment he was shot until they did whatever they did, whether in the ground or in the tube or whatever,
man,
shit
disappeared actually.
stopped.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Shit stopped on that Air Force Base. We couldn't leave. The movie theater was
Oh,
closed.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was like
I can see
totally
that.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
boom. So for me, it was like one of those times where I went, oh hell no, don't have this happen ever again, because it wasn't good.
No.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, when he died, or when he was shot, did y'all have that heartbreak feeling, like, oh, my president, and, you know, all this, or was it like, well, white dude got shot, wow.
I was sad because in my young, I was, what were we, I think I was
11
13
or something
I was
like that,
13, 63. Even in my young mind, I felt sorry for,
Yeah.
you know, the way the shit went down, and then also because he seemed to be such a good person trying to
Yes.
do good,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and also that was the first president that Kennedy was the first president that a whole bunch of black people rallied around.
Yeah.
Before that, it was always Republicans. I remember in the 50s, you couldn't walk into a black person's house and not see a I like Ike pin or bumper sticker or, in some cases, a picture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. So
Yeah.
once the Emancipation Proclamation took effect, most of the black people voted because of Lincoln, they voted the party that he was with.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1960, that election, Kennedy was the first Democrat that had a whole bunch of black support.
And he was able to take advantage of TV.
Yeah. Oh, he was very charismatic. I
You
mean,
know,
he made
so-
Nixon look like the dummy he was.
Himself, yeah.
But no, I mean, the thing was, I felt, you know, it wasn't like, oh my God, the devastation, but I mean, I was like, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I really, we were in math class at Meany Junior High School. And remember they used to have they now I guess they got all this computerized script, but they used to have a TV that they would roll around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was there for that.
Yeah.
AV, right?
Yeah.
And so they had them instead of rolling them all around, they would just roll the film stuff all around, but they put a TV in the classroom. So then you have that, you know, in the in-house phone. So we're sitting there in this math class, and we're like, yeah, whatever, fuck the math. And the phone rings. And so the math teacher goes over, he grabs the phone, and he says, yeah. And you could watch this. The color drained out of his face. He was, you know, like, you know, he was kind of like, well, Caucasian colored. And then he just went white. I mean,
Yeah,
white.
Caucasian color.
Yeah. He just and then he went over and he turned on the TV and stuff. I guess they told him turn on the news, and he turned TV on. And before the TV, you know how you have to warm up. Before TV, he turned around and looked at us. He
Yeah.
said, "The president has been shot." And we were like, "Wait, what? What do you?"
Yeah.
TV came on, news and everything, and then they were showing the grassy knoll and the whole thing, and Lee Harvey, they don't know where he is, and it was a whole, you know, but it was like, you just felt bad, you know, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I was 12. I felt bad more for my parents and my aunts and uncles because they loved him
Yeah.
than I did for me because I was sick that day. I was at home when they broke into whatever the hell I was watching. Somebody like Walter Cronkite. We interrupt this show to bring you this very important message. In Dallas today, yes, President Kennedy had been shot. And I'm like, what?
And the thing is, then they pronounced him dead, like, you know, at the hospital. The thing said he had just been shot. But then once you saw the goddamn film, saw the footage, the Magruder footage or
Yeah.
whatever, it's like, oh damn, no, he pretty much was gone right away. He didn't get shot and then die. He was like, bam, died of his injuries right away. You
Well,
know?
now I was
And then 8 years later.
in Mr. Rivard's drama class at Chief Moses Junior High when the first message came through that the president's been shot. All the Air Force kids get ready to go home. They're sending a bus for you because that's how we got to school, is by the Air Force bus. And by the time the bus came, the bus driver told us, well, he died. That's how I found out.
Yeah, I told you, damn. But
And I didn't have time, like I said, to really think about anything because everything was shut down. And the only thing we had was a TV, right?
Right.
And then that Sunday morning, we got to go to church, right? To the base chapel. And that just as we're walking out the door, that fool came in and shot Oswald right there in the TV.
Jack Ruby.
Ruby.
Yeah.
But
We all saw that live.
Yeah.
it's like he had a front row seat there. I
Well,
imagine in Dallas back in those days.
Somebody let him in.
Yeah,
He was.
yeah.
He was like.
He was right.
He was like on the fringes of the underworld. You know, he wasn't like a total gangster, but he had been around the police, and that's why allegedly that's why he was allowed to be in the tunnel where they're transporting him. I'm going. Yeah, something's just not quite right. You know, that conspiracy theory been going on for so many years.
And I'm sure there's
Yeah.
a conspiracy, but I'm also sure that they got it wrong. Who the conspirators actually were.
Oh, they never really said. There's been a lot of different speculation. And then there was a movie called None Dare Call It Conspiracy, and it had a hypothetical thing about like CIA military
yes,
stuff,
yeah.
and they said that, and they practiced like they said, okay, if we drive the car this way, and they said, okay, and then they said, well, drive it slower, and they said, well, we can't drive it slower, and they said, no, if you take that little by the grassy knoll, you can slow it down, right? Because, you know, if a car's moving, it's hard to hit a moving target is what they're saying. So the slower it's going. And they went through this whole thing about how they trained these guys and how, you know, they said, okay. And basically it was just like, yeah, Oswald's just a fall guy. There's no way that he can sit up there. You could see if he had an automatic weapon or if he had something, you know. But, you know, pow. Pow! No, you can't get that many shots off.
So you think there was more than one shooter?
That's that's allegedly.
Well, I want to be clear here
You know.
because David, I don't want to jump all over me. Do you think there was more than one shooter? The Kennedy assassination.
I think he was shot because he was Catholic.
But do you think more, do you think more?
Yeah, okay.
And he was in the South.
Okay, that's
See,
why he had
Catholics
Johnson
and
as his.
Jews and blacks in the South.
Yeah, but by the same token, no, see, the thing is, that's why he had Lyndon Johnson on the ticket.
Right, but
And so, wait. And
he
so,
wasn't Lyndon. He still
No, but that's what got him elected. By having Johnson, because you had to bring the South along, and you know he just barely won.
Yeah.
So that was, but the thing is, it was just so many things that was, I mean, like, you could have had like, what do you call that half bubble
Yeah.
on the Lincoln?
Yeah.
It's a plexiglass bubble, and you're
Don't they
still
call it
there.
the
You
bubble?
can still see the people and wave at them, etc.
Yeah.
So y'all don't think? Because I think it was the mafia that took him out.
That's
I
what,
think there was more than one shooter because I don't believe in the magic. I don't support the magic bullet theory.
No, bullets don't do that
So
shit.
do you think it's because of the sins of his father that he got taken out?
No. Well, okay. It
No.
depends on how you interpret that. Because I think, because you know, once I get on one of these things, I start looking up everything. So from what I found, you could say that, you know, his family dealt with the mob, and in some of their dealings, it was like, yo, we got to get him to make president.
yeah.
But I don't necessarily, so sins of his father, yes, in that case, you could say sins of his father, because I don't think John F. Kennedy had any intention of helping,
No,
and I think that's why he died.
No, it was the sins of his brother.
Yes,
remember-
I think that
You
didn't
re-
help at all. Yes,
Do you
because Bobby was
remember
on their ass.
When you remember he made Bobby Attorney General, and the first thing Bobby did was went after the goddamn mafia. And like you said, his dad, the Kennedy money, a good portion of it, allegedly, was made because he was bootlegging.
He was
during
bootlegging
Prohibition.
alcohol. Yeah.
And if you're bootlegging during Prohibition and getting away with it, you have to deal with the mafia.
So yeah, I think that Bobby did not help, and that's why he
Right.
died. But I think it was initially, dude in power is not helping us like we want him to help us,
Right.
and now his kid brother is fucking with us too. They both gotta go.
Right.
Is I think the way it went.
Right. And then, and also, originally, John wasn't supposed to be the president.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Joe Jr., is it Joseph Jr.? Yeah. Anyway, he was killed in, what the fuck kind of, oh man, I just saw something on this. But I think it was something to do with the Manhattan Project. And,
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta hear more of this.
Well,
Yeah, it
hey,
no, wait, what?
we're gonna have to wrap it up because actually my
Okay.
battery, the second battery's died.
Well, that's fine. We were still having a wonderful conversation.
Amen. But we can close it out and y'all
Yeah.
can keep on going.
So, are you going to close it out?
Away! Thanks for joining this riveting,
You a superhero?
Oh,
Up and away. Okay.
riveting conversation with old black men. I am your cousin, your uncle, your brother, maybe even your father.
Hopefully not. I mean, except for
Sunny
me.
Peace.
Be well, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. We'll talk at you next week, since you don't have much to say back to us. So you just have to listen to what we have to say.
Well, yeah. And I'm still Cliff Barnes, the real Cliff Barnes. And we'll see you when you see us.
Peace out.
Roger that.